Hi there, Dr. Andrew here. We're going to talk about stress and how you can help yourself handle stress a little bit better. Um, One of the things that happens is we can't control what gets thrown at us from our environment. There's a lot of things coming at us nowadays. Sometimes it's things out there. Sometimes it's a spouse. Sometimes it's finances. Sometimes it's a bit of everything. And if you've learned, you can't control what goes on there. You can only control how you respond to it. So we want to talk about things that are going to help you respond to that better. One of the things I might suggest, though, for sure, is social media, and especially if there's a big crisis going on like there is now, I encourage people to watch government websites, Dr. Robert Strain, Nova Scotia Minister of Health. Listen to that information. You have to understand media's an outlet, and Facebook and social media and so on. They're selling eyeballs, they're selling advertising. So it's not a great place to get your information, and it fills your head with negativity constantly. So listen, I want to talk about things you can do versus things you can't do. And really quickly, there's a few buzzwords going around that I think are worth mentioning here. The beauty of life to me is in the present moment. The present moment is where you get to see it's Wednesday and sunny outside. It's a beautiful spring day. I had some fantastic interactions and conversations with people in my office this morning when I was present with them. But we don't get to enjoy that present moment with our kids or patients or friends or colleagues if we're anxious and worried about the future. Future-paced living is just, it wrecks you. I know myself. You worry about what may happen if this happens, if the markets go down, and if I don't do this, and then that might happen, and then it could go here, and da-da-da. None of it may ever happen. But you're stuck there, and it's taking you away from the beautiful present moment. The other thing is we can be depressed about the past. What happened to you, what you did to somebody else, whatever it may be, it's in the past. So you spend your time there instead of the present. So good things to think about to try to be more present. Couple questions you might ask yourself. Is stress good or bad? I argue it's both. I'm not techie particularly, so it's stressful for me to do this form of communication. But I'm doing it. I'm trying to up my game. I want to spread information. I care about people. I want to help. So I'm doing this anyway. But I'm stressed. That's not a bad thing. It's making me do things and stretch and help. I think that's good. Now, stress can also be a bad thing if you don't deal with it right. So it's good and bad depending on who you are and how you're dealing with it. What you really want to know and learn about too is, are you making a story bigger than it needs to be in stress? Because sometimes you can have a lion chasing you and you got to go up a tree because it's chasing you, and you can decide to hide or to put your spear into it. That's called fight, flight, or survival mode. But sometimes you just think or see there's rustling in the grass from the wind, and you get thrown into a stress response because that reminds you of the lion that chased you. Sometimes there's no rustling in the grass, no lion, you're just dreaming, and you're thinking of the event, and you've run the story. So you're constantly stuck in a story, and it leads to what you might call catastrophizing, making the story bigger than what it really is. Another question you might ask yourself is, can I ever be stress-free? And I would argue, as I said earlier, when they plant you, or your maker, whatever you want to call that, comes for you, that's when you're stress-free. Otherwise, you're always going to get pulled, pushed, supported, challenged. That's normal living, and it should be that way. So let's change gears. I want to talk a little bit about this. That's your body's nervous system. So there's two parts to that nervous system that controls your body. Your spine and your brain and your nervous system control your body. There's what you call the sympathetic nervous system, which is where we reside when there is a crisis. When somebody cuts you off in traffic, if a lion is chasing you, you want your heart rate to shoot up. You want adrenal glands to go. Your pupils will dilate. You heavy breathe. Cortisol is released into your bloodstream. It's a stress hormone because you're ready to do your thing. But as I said, when that's done, if you're healthy and adaptable, you'll move into what we call the parasympathetic side, which is where rest, healing, relaxation occurs. And that can't occur if you're in survival mode. A great scientist, Dr. Bruce Lipton, says you can't be in growth and protection at the same time. Remember that. You want to be right in the middle and be healthy and adapting to what your environment's throwing at you. Another way to think of that is, in our clinic as chiropractors, is we want to do things, you only got one bucket to deal with stress. We want to do things that empty your bucket so you're not topped up, so you have a reserve. And we want to do things that empty your bucket faster. So what can we do to empty my bucket and empty it faster as a reservoir to deal with stress? Because you only have a finite amount of room to deal with stress. So very quickly, some things you can do that help you deal with stress. In our office, there's supplements. We have a product that's called a stress rebalancer. We've had this personally made. The research is on our website behind it, so that it aids your body in the production of the hormones that help you stay in parasympathetic modes and shunts your bodies away from the others. So these chemicals are in a product we call a stress rebalancer. I'm going to read what's in it fairly quickly, and again, you can check our website for research as to why these things are helpful. But ashwagandha, rhodiola, theanine, glutathione, vitamin C, D, A, E, magnesium, 5-hydroxytryptophan are all in that particular product. It's a very helpful product. I use it myself. Also, too, there's lots of research to show healthy gut, healthy brain. There's a connection. So the healthier your gut, the healthier your nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. So what comes into play then are supplementation with essential fatty acids, otherwise known as fish oil. The other thing is a good solid probiotic, which we have in our office. You can check online. Again, we make our own. Vitamin D is important in that cascade. The other thing that we have that I recommend you look into are essential oils, as long as they're organic. These are things you can use. And my wife, Dr. Wanda McPhee, knows more about these than I do, but I am, again, going to list them. I use them, but I use them with her supervision and expertise. Too many people play with these chemicals and they don't know what they're doing. But great essential organic oils I would look to help your bodies reserve to deal with stress are lavender, patchouli, frankincense, ylang ylang, bergamot, chamomile, and vetiver are all good ones. There's some really neat research too on our website that shows spraying lavender on nurses' clothing was shown in one study to reduce stress cortisol, the stress hormone, in saliva for up to 3 days. Pretty cool. The other thing you can do at home that costs no money is learn to meditate. I meditate every day. Some days I'm like, what am I doing? It's a waste of my time. I can't calm my brain down. But meditation is really getting you used to concentrating and focusing on the present moment. Cliche, but true. There's lots of resources in our community that can help you. There's great resources online. I find Dr. Joe Dispenza has a lot of great research and science behind meditation if you're that kind of person. If you don't need the science, trust me, just start trying to meditate, showing up. Just deep breathe, be present more. Exercise is a fantastic way to reduce the impact of stress on your body, make the bucket bigger, if you will. Research has shown just 25 minutes of exercise a day, routinely 4 days a week, is better for mild to moderate depression than antidepressant medication. Cool. Exercise. Just walk. Don't make it complicated. Sometimes you just need to walk. Finally, I throw this category in there, practice the art of allowing. I took that right from Esther Hicks in the Laws of Attraction. Check her out online. Very, very cool lady. But what she talks about is getting your body in a state so you can allow good things to come in. You attract good things to come in. It's like trying to do stuff to get in your happy place. That's really what we're talking about. And especially right now with this climate, here's some stuff. I took this off the website. Oh, it was cute, and it's also really true. But things not canceled. Going outdoors, music, family, reading, friends, singing, laughing, hope. You have the ability to choose your focus. And as one of my mentors, Judy, used to tell me, focus on the good stuff and you get more good stuff. You focus on what's wrong, you're only going to see what's wrong. Remember that. Obviously, as a chiropractor, I feel strongly that is also a part of how to help your body be adaptive and increase your bucket. Should see a chiropractor. Supports your nervous system. So in closing, stress is really a three-legged stool, if you will. There's emotions, there's chemicals or supplementation, what you're eating, and there's the physical nervous system component. And if only attention is paid to one of them and not all three, things don't end well. So if you incorporate all these things and you still feel stressed or overwhelmed, maybe you need help from a psychologist or your medical doctor. But I hope you found this helpful. Check us out on YouTube, and we are also on Instagram if you found this interesting.